For years, we've all been hearing about AI as this futuristic, kind of abstract idea. But what happens when it stops being a theory and actually becomes a working part of your team? Okay, so today we're going to dive into a case study that shows exactly that. How one company turned AI from just another buzzword into a real-life workforce that got some frankly jaw-dropping results.
And this slide, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the before picture. Everything's manual, it's ad hoc, it's a constant struggle to just keep up. And on the other side, you see the after, a team of AI agents working around the clock, handling critical tasks. This isn't just a small tweak, it's a complete game changer. So let's get into how they pulled it off.
All right, so let's meet the main character of our story, the Insurance Exchange of America, or IEA. Now, we're not talking about some small shop here. This is a big company, servicing over 100,000 policyholders. But their own success was actually creating a massive problem. They were growing so fast they were hitting a wall, and their human team, they just couldn't keep pace.
So what was actually going wrong? Well, the problems were really specific. First, if you were a potential customer and you reached out after hours, you just had to wait. That's a lost sale waiting to happen. Second, their renewal reminders were these big impersonal batches, meaning customers were just falling through the cracks and policies were lapsing. And third, and this one is a total killer, their staff was spending an entire workweek, 40 hours, on a single compliance audit. Think about that. It was just completely unsustainable.
So IA had a pretty clear picture of what they needed. They needed something that could talk to customers everywhere, text, email, you name it. It also had to be smart enough to understand the super complex rules from over 150 different insurance carriers. But here's the kicker. They absolutely could not get bogged down in some massive, year-long IT project. They needed something that was fast and flexible.
So, what was the fix? Well, they didn't just go out and buy another piece of software. They deployed what's called an Agentic Workforce. Now, I want you to think about this less like a tool and more like hiring a brand new team of super efficient digital employees ready to get to work on day one.
And here's what that actually means. See, an agentic workforce isn't just a simple chatbot. We're talking about a group of specialized AI agents, and each one is built to handle a complete business task from start to finish, all by itself. Their whole job is to take over the repetitive, tedious stuff so the human experts can focus on what they do best. So, let's meet the new team. First up, you've got the Sales and Quote Agent. This one works 24/7, instantly jumping on new leads. Then there's the Renewal Concierge, who's like the most organized assistant ever, never misses a date, sends out perfectly timed reminders. And finally, the Compliance Analyst. This agent uses a doc parser, which is just a fancy way of saying it can read and understand files automatically to check thousands of pages of legal documents in just a fraction of the time a human could.
And remember that fear they had about a huge, year-long IT project? Well, get this. This entire digital workforce, all three of these specialized agents, was fully built, trained, and running in less than 3 weeks. I mean, that kind of speed is an absolute game changer.
Okay, so the team is in place, it was fast to set up, but did it actually work? This is where the story gets really good. Let's look at the hard numbers, the actual measurable impact this AI workforce had on the business.
Let's start with that soul-crushing compliance audit. That 40-hour manual slog, it was reduced by 90%. What took an entire work week now takes just 4 hours. That is just an unbelievable efficiency gain right there.
And what about those potential customers who used to have to wait overnight for a response? Well, the lead-to-quote time was slashed from an average of 12 hours down to under 2 minutes. We're talking instant engagement, 24 hours a day.
The Renewal Concierge made a huge difference too. By sending out those personal, timely reminders, IEA saw an 18 percentage point uplift, as a PP means, in their policy renewal rate. That's real money, a direct impact on keeping customers happy and growing revenue.
So when you add it all up, what does it mean in human terms? Well, these AI agents are now handling the routine workload of 10, that's right, 10 full-time employees. But this didn't mean layoffs. Instead, it freed up their talented human team to focus on more complex work, like advising clients and closing bigger deals.
And hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Here's a quote from the CEO, Brian Riley, about Raia, the platform they used. He points out 2 really key things. First, they can now operate at a scale they could have only dreamed of before. And second, and this is so important, his human team loves it. Why? Because the AI took away all the boring, tedious work that nobody wanted to do in the first place.
Okay, so the results are fantastic, but the big question is, how can other businesses get there too? Well, IEA's whole journey actually gives us a really clear, actionable playbook for success.
And it's actually a pretty simple 4-step process. 1. Don't try to boil the ocean. Start with one high-impact problem to get a quick win. 2. Be smart about it. Reuse what you build, like knowledge bases, to roll out new agents way faster. 3. Build trust by keeping humans in the loop to supervise and tweak the AI's performance. And 4, and this is maybe the most important, forget all the technical jargon. Focus on what really matters, business metrics like time saved, cost cut, and revenue gained.
So the crucial point in all of this is that IEA's story proves that AI has officially moved beyond the hype. It's not a buzzword anymore. It's a practical, real-world workforce multiplier that you can deploy fast and see a massive return on, not in years, but in just a few months.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. After seeing what's possible, it kind of makes you wonder, right? If you could hire a digital employee tomorrow, one that never gets tired, never complains, and actually loves doing repetitive work, what's the very first tedious, time-sucking task you would hand over?